Around.
No, they come to us now. Welcome, everyone. It is time for the Spring 2023 Division E Championships. We have Ramphins, yep, it's a stupid name, going up against Bend Don't Break, slightly better name, but the two best names in the room. Pease Del Rees, Alexi Dubois, here to bring you the Division E Finals. How's it going, Alexi?
Not bad, not bad. Have we figured out where the name Ramphins comes from yet, or is it just a completely random creation?
It's either a combination of the Rams and the Dolphins or a sexual act forcibly enacted upon dolphins. Or any fish, really.
Poor dolphins.
I know. Save them. Save the dolphins. I don't know why they swim under tuna, but they get caught in the nets. So this game features two teams that have had sort of an interesting run in the playoffs. The Ramphins were not favored. They were not the home team for any of the finals. They were the lower seed the whole way throughout the playoffs. Bend Don't Break, mostly the visiting team as well. Yet they face off in a game where we'll see these two teams play head-to-head. I was most surprised to see Bend Don't Break getting by Hail Martys.
Yeah, me too. Hail Martys are obviously a heavyweight in this division, and to punch your ticket through a team like that, it says something about you. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about this team to tell me exactly what it says. It says they're good, but how good they are, what exactly their skill set is something I am looking still to figure out in this finals.
Well, the Dominion Gills are players that are known for their time in Green Monster. Now this is the Division E variation of that team going up against the Upstarts. They're two highly athletic teams. So for those of you who have joined us so far on Facebook Live, you've seen, of course, that this is, now that we've coordinated three teams as champions, this is our fourth game on the slate today of the festivities. The house is rocking here in Stade de Montreal. And we thank you for joining us. For those of you watching on YouTube, thank you for watching the replay of these games. And thank you to our new sponsors, BuzzFit, because if you like working out with strippers, BuzzFit is the place.
So quick question, Peasy. I only see 5 players out there in white. Are we missing a 6, or is this going to be a 5v6 final?
If it's 5v6, we need to find ways to entertain ourselves.
Because it could be a very long night. That being said, I do want to remind you, 5v6, it has happened before, and we have seen teams pull off the upset 5v6.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Division E, a lot of teams rely on athleticism, and we don't see a ton of great scheming, so we'll see what that comes down to. Bend Don't Break are a team specifically with Luc Moreau, just at times, always looking for that big play. They run a lot of different concepts throughout a game. I wonder how being 5 players will affect him. That said, it hurts you much more on defense than it does on offense.
So I've played a final 5v6, and I can tell you for a fact that offensively, if you have a sound offense and dominant receivers, your offense 5v6 will be minimally different. There'll be disadvantages. You'll lose some more matchups. It's not a deal breaker. That being said, being 5 players on defense is extremely difficult. As a defensive play caller, I can tell you right now, what you have to run is 1 free safety, 1 rusher, corner locks, and then a very free short defender underneath, and just try to bait something.
Your best defender in that 3 spot who's just looking to make a play.
Yes, exactly.
But then again, the offense could just run all hooks.
Every single play.
Every single play.
And they would win.
Yeah.
Which is what you would do, to be perfectly clear.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's incumbent on the offense. It's tricky too, because if a player's going to show up late, you start to think, should I run all hooks every play, or should I try to put up points immediately, because in case a player joins them in progress. Important to note, by the way, the games are all starting a little bit later, because at the finals we have replay challenges. We got to set up the live stream. It does take a couple of minutes.
We have lots of fun.
Yeah, we like to have fun out here, but it's just surprising that someone would be so late for a finals game, given how late these games start.
Do you think it's someone? Do you think they're waiting for someone at this point, or is it just, are they 5?
The fact that the game hasn't started yet feels like they're waiting on somebody.
That's a very valid point. Okay, they're 5. Too bad for them. That being said, this Ramphins teams as well. I played against them once, and if I could give it a little bit of insights, Zumigil, very good quarterback. The one thing I quickly noticed, I was subbing for a Division E team, playing against them. While he does a lot of things well, he does a bad job of reading the opposite side of the field. So if he's throwing a drag coming from his right, he doesn't read the left side of the field, so it is easy to shoot underneath.
That's one of those things where I learned moving up through divisions at quarterback is that in Division E, you often get away with not reading the backside. As you move up through the divisions, teams are looking to attack you from the backside. So we'll see if Bend Don't Break are able to do that. Obviously tougher with 5 defenders if that's going to be the case.
Much, much more difficult. That being said, it's something they can try to take advantage of. It's one of those situations where even with 5 defenders, if the quarterback isn't reading, shooting something underneath, it's something you can do with 4 defenders. It's if you're not reading a third of the field, there is always that blind side.
If anything, it gives them life, right, to do
exactly.
that. Exactly. Yeah.
That being said, the question is a more inexperienced team newer to FPF like Bend Don't Break, do they have the flag wherewithal to realize that? Will they pick up on it? Those are the big questions in Division E.
Ramphins went on to beat Houday in the first round of the playoffs, 14-13. The win came in overtime against a seasoned quarterback in Tom Gatehouse. They played OnlyFans, and they won that game 36-24. Gay and Jesse Dumingil both had pick sixes in that game. And then the big one, the 24-6 beating of FSU, as we like to call them, FKU for False Kings University. Jesse Dumingil with 2 interceptions in that game. The path also impressive for Bend Don't Break as they beat Texas Wales, Meat Lovers, Show Me TDs, and Hail Marty's like we talked about earlier. But it does look like we are set to start the game. Bend Don't Break will start with 5. Ramphins will bear down with their normal defense, playing a little bit tighter, knowing that there's only 5 on the other side. Ball snapped, delivered over the top. It is caught, and a quick deflag.
Okay, so Pease, the first thing, that tackle there, the pass by the way is right to number 88, Dominic Widener. That means that the first thing I realized, not only are they 5 players, they are lining up with a running back.
Yeah, they've done that a lot this season. It's core to with their offensive strategy. I think they've gotten away with it often. It does not do you favors when you're down man.
Are they now playing pretty much 4v6 with a running back?
To a degree, yes. I wonder if they're going to do a lot more double quarterback stuff. They don't tend to, as the bulk of it does go to Luc Moreau. Fake handoff on an option read, and he still has his flags on, and a reach and a deflag in the middle of the field. A great flag there by Alexandre Nadeau.
Yeah, and very quickly on that one. Nice flag. But for Moreau, was that a jump? Something to look out here from Division E, you don't realize the flag guarding and all that's a lot more common. On that play, something for the officials to keep an eye out for, I did see a bit of jumping.
Yeah, but he was deflagged at the same time. It's always been unclear to me when it's called because I understood it as a safety regulation, so to me it should always be called. But if it's actually going to be that no advantage was gained by the jump.
Very true.
So first down now for the Fear Us bearing Bend Don't Break. 2 receivers to the right, ball thrown over the top and caught in space, and he still has his flags on. I gotta say, there's a ton of team speed on Bend Don't Break. Great pass to the outside.
It's the first time I've seen this team play. Never seen them before. They are all extraordinary fast. It's not a huge team. I don't think anyone here is over 6 foot tall, but the speed is exceptional. And if there's one thing you need when you're playing 5v6, that is speed.
Yeah, you're gonna need those Yaks and Josh Nutte getting after it on that play. I thought that was the reason. I thought they would lose to Hail Marty's. I thought they'd get pushed around. I thought they'd get bullied. That wasn't the case. And so far, Ramphins seem to be a little bit soft on defense.
I was going to use the word soft exactly. And that's we'll come to it after this play, but when you're playing 6v5 on defense, you need to take advantage, and I don't feel like they are right now.
2 receivers to the left, and Moreau, he gets the snap, he looks left, he's holding the ball, buying time, rolling back, throwing to the ground. Safe throw there to the feet of Arden Finkelstein.
A very safe throw. The other thing you need to mention is that was a fantastic rush there from Yannick Nadeau. A very difficult quarterback to contain, was able to push him to the sideline, not let him take an edge, and more than a great defense, it's the rush which killed that play, ended it, and really forced the incompletion.
And look, Montreal did run 17 times for 121 yards this season. He's not always looking to run, but he can if you'll give it to him. I think he's going to try to use his athleticism today because, again, that disadvantage. If you're 6 players on defense, though, I'll get your thoughts after this about what you'll do on defense. It looks like it's going to be a man defense or some version of that. His ball is snapped to Moreau. He throws a corner over the top. It's a great ball. It's a catch. It's a touchdown. Great catch by Dominic Weiner. His 8th touchdown this postseason.
Okay, that is a great catch. Congrats, Weiner. Let's take a second and talk about this Ramphins defense because something is not quite right there. That looked like a man coverage, and when I'm playing 5v6, what I love, man coverage with safety over on top. It gives you this latitude to make up for mistakes. I'm not entirely sure what that defense was, but they're leaving wide chunks open, and I don't think they're really taking advantage of that extra defender.
I thought too, like you can build a box on one side and leave the ISO receiver in man too. That's another option. Ball snapped on a 1-point convert. Moreau has 2 receivers run into each other, but Finkelstein unable to hold on to a ball, delivered on schedule despite that miscommunication on the goal line.
Delivered on schedule, a great defensive play, a nice little break on the ball. So this is when things are really going to get difficult for Bend Don't Break. We said before, offense 5v6 is all right, and we saw that it's all right. But now what we need to wonder is what is the defensive game plan? And that's the thing I'm looking for in this first play. You have 5 defenders. Now, the one thing you do not want to do is not send a rusher.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. That's nonsense.
Always rush.
Always send a rusher. They have 1 tight receiver on the right-hand side in base formation. Ball snapped, thrown quickly. That's what he's going to be doing most of this game. He's looking to get yaks on his own, and we talked about that for Luc Moreau, but it's going to be important for Sheldon Dumingil as well. Ball out of his hand quickly. Great play.
That's what they need to do all day. So if we're looking defensively from Bend Don't Break, look at the way they are lining up. You have the corner already dropping deep, so which pretty much leaves it exposed as your short defender in a 1v2 situation.
Yeah.
You're able to read it pre-snap. He went to the right spot pre-snap, but let's see if they start shifting up what they're showing. They're not.
They're not even covering the outside. Ball delivered over the middle field. It is caught, and a quick deflag. Again, a great play by Dominic Weiner. I'm really impressed by the speed, the team speed of Bend Don't Break, and a great catch, of course, by Chad Dumingil on that play. But to your point, like we saw Moreau bail immediately in coverage on the side. There's nobody covering the left-hand side of the field.
I'll tell you the coverage right now. It is 13 and number 2. So we have Finkelstein and Moreau dropping deep every play with 2 short defenders.
Yeah.
They need to change that up. You can already read it pre-snap.
Yeah, they're showing it. And the ball thrown in that soft zone. It is caught. And it's going to be about a 7-yard gain.
It's a 7-yard gain. And when you have shifty receivers and you're leaving so much room underneath, you have 2 players covering a 25-yard field across. And when you have the Dubois brothers with so much speed and athleticism, and you're not putting bodies on them, not getting in the way of crossers, this is going to be a very long game.
Yeah, Jesse Dumingil, great play on that drag. We saw Lori Willette unable to come up with a key drag in her co-ed 2 finals. And instead we see here Ramphins executing at a much higher level. Ball pumped, delivered over the top. It's caught. It's going to be a touchdown. Great catch by Chad Dumingil.
Pease got so excited on that he ripped his earphones out of the socket.
For the 40th time today.
Don't do that.
Yeah, but see, at home they can't hear that. Only I can hear that. I removed my earphones.
This is going to sound crazy. I don't hate the defense on Bend Don't Break. There was a pump fake. He ran a hook, pumped the hook. The safety came crashing down onto the hook, trying to make it pick, which he has to do. Yeah. He got beat by the hook and go. I would get beat by that all day long because you're trying to create an interception. The only way this Bend Don't Break team wins is they get 1 pick more than their opponents. Chad
Dumingil making that great basket catch now on the 1-point convert. Dumingil looking to buy time, but Anote comes in, pulls that flag. Anote didn't have a huge season at rusher, but has been great in his playoffs, and he's been disruptive, even though it doesn't particularly show it on the stat sheet.
I mean, what I saw there is sure hands. For a rusher, look at some of the best rushers in FPF. When you say best rusher, I think Zach Albert's Gill. Is he the quickest? No.
The cocaine bear.
He's the cocaine bear himself. What makes him a great rusher is great hands. And that's what you saw in that play. If you don't miss tackles, you're a great rusher. That's all you need.
Yeah, because as a quarterback, you love the guy coming in full speed. You take 1 step, and they end up 10 yards behind you.
Exactly. I mean, all the speed in the world, it's all about the breakdown and the hands.
It's now 1st and 10 for Bend Don't Break. They deliver the handoff. Nutte coming to the sideline. And this time that option read leads to the handoff. It's a weird strategy.
Pease, I need to know your thoughts. You're a quarterback. You have 5 players. How do you justify using a running back when you have a very fast quarterback, a shifty quarterback, and he could run the exact same thing?
I can't. What I would do is either go with 2 receivers on one side and occasionally run a motion so you have trips on one side and have the defense leave their last 2 defenders out to dry. Just really a bizarre. It feels like they're not breaking from their.
But finally here, there is no running back, and I am thrilled.
Yeah, ball thrown quickly and caught by Dominic Widener. Widener making his mark on this game already.
And what I'm loving now is what this Bend Don't Break team is doing is, even though they're down a player, they're creating mismatches by putting more receivers versus less defenders. That is a win.
Yeah. No, it's been a smart approach so far. Absolutely.
I'm very impressed with the offensive play calling, and then they go for running back, and I'm significantly less impressed. But I was
Nutte in motion, ball snapped. He throws it to Nutte behind the line of scrimmage. Was it Nutte? Sorry. Yes, it was Nutte. It looks to be a run, I guess. So it's a pass, but it's a run.
It might not be a run. We're looking to Tara for confirmation. We are getting none. Look, so on a play like that, I understand what they're trying to create, and I understand why this is working in Division E. From a Ramphins team who has that Green Munch experience, who has the higher division experience. Green Monster, sorry, my bad.
I made that mistake on the podcast.
That's where I got it from. So it's all starting from you. Thank you, Piers.
You're welcome.
La faute originale. So you'd think they'd have the experience now to learn how to take that kind of stuff away, and just simply put, you have an extra player. You can line up someone on man coverage on the running back.
If there's someone in the backfield to start to play, someone needs to break immediately on snap.
Yes.
Ball snapped. Buying time is Paolo throwing off his back foot. It's caught. And a great catch by one of the taller receivers on Bend Don't Break. A great catch there by Joseph Sporer, who has made his mark on defense throughout these playoffs. He's having 2 interceptions so far heading into this game. But he's the one dude on their team who has a little bit of size, and it really helped in that play.
Yes. Riddle me this one. Joseph Sporer, receiver, DB. What's written on the back of his jersey?
I can't see it from here.
QB1.
Well, that's fighting words for Luc Molo. I think there'll be a rumble in Papineau tonight.
It's quite definitely not QB1, since QB1 here is under center.
Ball snap, breaking to his left side is Molo. He's going to run. He maintains his flags until he gets deflagged by Nadeau in the flats.
You generally do maintain your flags until you get deflagged. That's the
true.
Concept of deflagging. Thank you for explaining it here.
Yeah, what I was doing there was talking for as long as possible so that I can look down on my sheet and see who got the flag.
You're very good at talking. It's a special skill of yours. So what I'm loving here from this Bend Don't Break team is they're trying to get this game to become a shootout. The way they win is through simply put an offensive festivity on the
and it's
board.
been safe plays, to be honest. Like, they're not taking any chances. The one deep throw was the wide open pass to Widener.
Perfectly concepted as well.
Yeah, just outside the red zone. Ball pumped, delivered to the outside. It is caught by Nutte. The large shadow being casted by Commissioner Campana, taking away our only viewpoint.
We're not even in the second level here. We're down on field level. And to have the, tallest man around right now, Rob Campana, planted in front of you, does not help with your visuals.
All I saw there was Joseph Sporer.
I know, I'd love to comment on the play, but all I have to comment about is Rob's backside, but we'll pass on comment there.
Very, I would say, overrated backside.
We'd have to get another view.
Commissioner, and you think nothing but back end, but really.
But for all the sitting on his backside, it might take away the cushion.
There we go. Ball snap, thrown. It's bouncing and falls to the ground harmlessly. A lot of traffic there, and I think this is where they're going to struggle most on offense and Bend Don't Break. Not having that extra receiver in the red zone is going to hurt.
It's going to be painful. That being said, the zip on that ball, the placement, right into Finkelstein, it was in his hands. It was in the window. That in itself is a throw you could be making. If you trust your receiver, that's a throw I'd make 10 times out of 10. You would love to see, however, Finkelstein be able to come down with that ball, because they need to take the most of every single opportunity they have.
Two receivers to the left and middle. He gets a snap. He looks to his right. Delivers a quick strike. It's caught, and it's a touchdown. Great catch on the sideline. And that's Nutte again.
Nutte, and it has Dumiguil in front of him. I believe that is Chad Miguel slapping the ground in frustration. It appears they're going man coverage in the red zone, which to me is simply a mystery. When you're running these quick breaking in and out concepts, man coverage will get beat. And again, they're not using their extra defender because man coverage simply, if a safety on top, nullifies it in the red zone.
Yeah, and you don't really need the safety on top in the red zone. At that point, you just go lanes one.
Exactly. Here they're going for 2 points. Going for 2 points with 5 players is an interesting idea. Interesting is one word for it.
With a running back in like an I formation, Notte spreads out. He's breaking towards the goal line. Ball thrown over the top. And incomplete. Very good defense on that play by Jesse Dumiguil.
Number 88 for Ben Don't Break. That is Dominic Weiner is now down injured, rolling in pain. He appears to have stood up.
Was he rolling in pain or rolling and selling the penalty?
He was rolling in both of which happened to be, one is comfy, one is slightly less comfy. There's nothing wrong with a roll for the roll. That being
said, you gotta do it sometimes.
Exactly. That being said, we have to remember, an OC, an injury, and suddenly this Bendo Break team is down to 4, and that is a whole world of misery.
Yeah, that makes it really tough. Weiner looks like he'll be fine. He's standing. He's in the huddle. Obviously, we're being a little flippant because he's okay. But look, we all try and sell the call sometimes, right? So no harm, no foul.
And to his credit, he did get the call there. So I think now we have a situation. Let's see where Tara places this cone. They have an opportunity to go for 2 from something like the 5-yard line. They're going for 2 from the 7.5.
Yeah, not a terrible idea. Again, going for 2 with 5 players does make it tough. They're going to line up with all the receivers on the sideline with 7.5 minutes left in the first half.
And it's so nice to see them finally get rid of that running back. Every time they'll receive comments, it's the easiest way to get a comment out of me this game, just take away the running back.
Ball snap, Moro moving to his right, buying time, delivers the ball over the top. No real concept on that play. Just sort of get the back of the end zone.
Well, there is no real concept. What I saw was roughing the passer. I see a rusher quite literally rolling over Moreau. I don't know what else to call that other than roughing the passer. Let's see if we get a replay here.
Yannick Nadeau closing in. The camera moved away, but it did look like there was some contact.
There is definitely contact. The question is if it's enough contact to deserve the penalty. My answer was yes, and I'm a defensive lover. You're a princess quarterback.
Absolutely. To me, it's always, even if no one's around, it's roughing the passer.
Oh, yeah.
At all times.
You have to think of the passer's emotional well-being and what you could be roughing in their emotional feathers.
Absolutely. Like it's emotionally difficult to be a passer in the first place.
Exactly, and they deserve just so much compassion.
Absolutely.
Look at poor old Iggy. Rough game before.
And we go with a base formation for Ramphins. They take the field down. And there's
Do we have a false start? We have a false start.
False start.
That's a disappointing penalty. That being said, look at this formation right now. Again, number 26 for Ramphins. That is Alexandre Côté lining up extremely narrow next to his snapper.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you wind up so narrow, and what route are you selling?
So I use a lot of different formations. I never love base formations where someone lines up tight for no reason.
It just feels like he's trying to sell either a drag or an out.
Yeah. And it was obviously...
Oh!
Ball knocked out in the air. Josh Nutte with a great play. Josh Nutte, if we're giving out player of the game so far, it's him.
It's 100%. And the fact, look, I'm looking at Josh Nutte. Well, he's a fantastic player. What he's not blessed with is exceptional height. That being said, he got up. He got 2 hands on that. And I'm wearing a thick set of headphones. You heard the thump through the headphones. I hope you got that at home.
And Nutte is, to your point, not very tall, but he's also, based on his family name, likely Italian. And that means he's average height. Look, man, I feel your pain, Josh. Ball snapped. Looking downfield, delivering the ball is Dumiguil, throwing to Chad Dumiguil. Jesse Dumiguil, who gets the flag before he gets the first down. You'll see our scoreboard saying 6-0, but that doesn't feel right. I believe it is 12-6.
I do believe it is 12-6. Well, I haven't seen any successful conference. So for me, when I played against this Ramphins team, while they had a feel of a Division E team, and I think the reason they've made the final is because if you look at the play, it's the ability to create yards after the catch. It's that juke move. It's the cut. It's the vertical speed. It's those elements of this Ramphins team which for me have separated them from the Division E pack and elevated them to a finals experience. Let's see if it's enough to keep on capitalizing right now.
Weiner now on the outside of the defense. Ball thrown deep, and it is caught along the sideline And that's a great ball by Sheldon Zumigil.
That was a very large gain for Ramphins. I'm going to say something crazy here. I liked what I saw from Ben Don't Break on that. You had Notte getting pressure on the quarterback. You had a safety sitting a few yards over the deep receiver. There was both the possibility for a sack and breaking for a pick on that one.
Yeah, with Widener and Moreau on this side, however, they bailed immediately. There was nobody short, but to their credit, there was no short receiver on that side either.
And for Ramphins, they have been very much attacking one side of the field. They are reading half the field at a time, which feels like a mistake.
But that's kind of Sheldon Zumigil's. That's the
It's
fall.
where he is right now as a quarterback.
Yeah. Ball snapped on first down to Zumigil. He delivers a quick ball. It is thrown, and Alex Nadeau makes a catch. And to your point, that doesn't feel like a read to the opposite side, but rather a predetermined route. He looked it off, however, which was a great move by Sheldon Zumigil, and delivers a ball with good pace and good timing to Nadeau.
And that's fantastic improvement to see. That being said, you can run that play every single down. It has not been covered.
Yeah.
It will not be covered. The question is, why are you trying deeper throws? Why are you creating
Well, they've been
more
open
risk?
also.
They
So-
have, but there is more risk. There's a drop. There's an overthrow. You can complete that for 5 yards every single down, and I'd love to see them run the exact same concept right now. Defensively, if you look at this, there's a gaping hole in the middle. Tell your snapper to turn around.
Yeah. And Nadeau delivers that snap high. He goes right instead. He gets, it looks like he's deflected by Widener at the 1 yard line.
So, at home, look very, very quickly at the defense that Ben Don't Break is giving Ramphins. If I am Zumigil right now under center, I'm going up to my snapper. I'm saying, everyone else, don't move. Snapper, buddy, turn around, look at me, get the ball in your gut, because there is no one for, please, is it 7 or 10 yards around him?
It's about that. Let's call it 8 yards.
There is a lot of separation. And at this point, it's going to be really interesting to see. We're going to be able to determine Ramphins' ability to adapt on the fly. The 1 yard hook from your snapper is not a play you have on your wristband, but it is something you need to be able to adapt to on the fly. And judging by the length of time they've taken in the huddle, I am willing to put a solid $5 that is not what they are doing.
Yeah, there's nobody in the middle of the field for Ben Don't Break, and the defenders are looking to the outside with their backs turned to the middle of the field. Ball thrown to the sideline, and is caught! Jesse Zumigil winning that jump ball. It's weird to resort to a jump ball 6 versus 5.
So I think it's 6 versus 5. I'm going to go one step harder. I think it is 6 versus 5 in man coverage with no one manning the center.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird. It's interesting. They're trying it. So for me here, this is what is frustrating. Look, this Ramphins team is fantastic. And that was a great touchdown. It was a fantastic leaping, head-tapping play.
Yeah.
But why take the risk?
Yeah, because again, Nadeau will just turn around and he'll be open because there's nobody in the middle. And again, the slot defenders had their back to the snapper. And they showed man. I couldn't believe it was man. It was.
And even if the rusher was covering him.
Yeah. Ball snap. Ball thrown, and it is a convert. And just like that, it is a 13-12 lead. Ramphins are up.
I think that's actually a 14-12 lead. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I do believe that was a 2-point convert. They looked slightly too far out to be going for one. These converts are going to be huge. If we're getting into a shootout.
It is 14-12, yeah.
It is 14-12. Converts are huge in a two-possession game.
Absolutely. Well, it's not a two-possession game.
It's not a two-possession game. What I meant was a shootout game. But anyways.
And it's not a shootout.
It is a shootout. In my definition, we've gone score for score. Until there is a defensive stop, it is a shootout.
Fair.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
I don't know. 14-12 kind of feels like a shoot, maybe. And Moreau buys time to his left. He's still moving. Fighting through the flag guard and gets deflagged.
That was quite literally flying through the flag guard. The hands dropped down, swatted. I think he pulled the arm and the flag. This is one of those plays where in FPF, flag guarding comes with a 5-yard penalty. So refs only throw it when there's an advantage gain. You can't help but feel in a league where flag guarding was whistled dead. And I'm not complaining about the rule. I'd much rather it here. There was a flag guard. There was no advantage gain. And that's why we didn't see a flag on the
play. But
play.
he'll keep doing it, and he's going to get penalized at some point. Ball thrown over the middle, and it's caught by Josh Notte. Josh Notte keeping his feet beneath him, as they always are.
His feet were beneath him, but his arm was also beneath him.
Yeah.
My theme to this first half is flag guarding. Nothing wrong with that. You do it until you can't.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially as quarterbacks, we all have our favorite flag guard maneuver.
And I know
I love the
yours
elbow
is.
dip.
Woo.
Yeah. But Josh Notte, great play. It's 3rd and short.
It is 5 plays left in this half.
Yeah, absolutely.
How important is it to score for Ben Don't Break? Answer, It is critical.
Thank you for asking me that question and not waiting for the answers. The ball snapped and juggled by Widener, who hits the ground and looks for a pity call, but won't get one.
There was no pity call. The flopping this time did not work. He has flopped his flop. Notte is complaining. Peas, what is your complaint of choice right here?
I mean, look, it's good by Widener to be like, come on, bro, like trying to sell if there was more contact than there was. Notte's got to be careful getting involved as a third man, though, because that's a good way to get a flag.
It's that extra player in the fight. If you're thinking hockey terms, it's the third man in that really receives the brunt of it. And in all honesty, there was no flag there.
No, that's not a flag. That's not. That just. If there was a flag thrown, there was a flag thrown for good defense. That's all
And
that
it was good defense. Now, 4 plays left. Their first priority is the first down. Once they gain this first down, though, their attention needs to immediately turn to the end zone. If I'm looking here, I want slightly more than the first down. I'm looking for a 7-yard gain. If they can gain this midfield, they'd be in great position for the rest of the half.
Motion to the left of Moreau. Ball snapped. He's looking, delivers that ball to the sideline, and it's almost picked off. Late ball delivery by Moreau. That's something he can't afford.
And that is a turnover on downs. That was 4th down. That was a huge play. Now, for Moreau, you saw that receiver open from the very start of the play. He waited.
He might have been open
He
yesterday.
stared him down, and that allowed McGill to make a break on the ball. This is where a bit of inexperience shows. You need to gun that ball in immediately. But, we see all kinds of quarterbacks forcing balls onto the sideline with disastrous consequences.
2 shots to get 1 yard. You gotta convert there.
You absolutely need to convert there. And more than that, you don't need to convert. You need to score a touchdown here. Because if Ramphins score, take a possession lead, come back and score, we are looking at a game over scenario.
We're looking at a game where I leave and you finish by yourself. Ball thrown by Dominguez. He throws it mindlessly and gets picked off. Moreau getting the ball back for himself after turning the ball over on the previous play.
So I think now we have 2 plays left.
Yeah.
You have 5 players. You don't have the size advantage. At this point, I think you need to be very careful about how you're using these 2 plays.
You need to get the midfield on the first play.
And you need to remember that jump balls aren't your friend, so you need to scheme something. This is when sending 4 verticals, or in this case 3 verticals and a running play, isn't the worst idea. I can bet you Ramphins are dropping 3 defenders deep.
But that's why the verticals won't work, because there are only 3 that can go
But I'm
deep.
saying, don't throw the verticals. Run your verticals, pull the defenders, and then you're going to have a 1 versus 2 situation with a very elusive Notte in the backfield getting the handoff. I would take a bet on him making at least the first guy miss. I think you can guarantee yourself 10 yards of a run play right here.
Well, they got Notte in the backfield, so we'll see if they opt for that. It won't be handed off. Ball thrown over the top. Weiner looks to make a move. Too many people in there, however. The ball ended up closer to Arden Finkelstein than Widener. The ball kind of was thrown between the 2 routes.
Finkelstein again down injured on the field. At this point, there's no asking for a call there. There is no call to be asked for. You have to start thinking that, is his health a concern? Is he at 100%? He has taken a few knocks now from a pushy play in the back to a contested ball at the back of the end zone. Something to keep an eye for as he's now coming. Oh God, this is not looking good.
Yeah, it looks like Dominic Widener may have had his day ended on that play.
Yep.
We hope he's healthy. We hope he comes back.
If I'm bend don't break right now, I'm punting the ball. I'm hoping the very best for Dominic Widener. I'm actually not punting the ball. I'm taking a time count violation penalty, moving 5 yards back, and then punting the ball to the net half to give him every single second he possibly have to
recover,
recuperate. And people are calling me
you could probably even take like 3 or 4.
until the ref tells you to go, in nice words, shove off.
Widener's out there, but he's not moving.
Don't take this.
The ball's thrown to Widener. He's jogging gingerly. He's just made an effort to get out of bounds.
He
It's
picked
tough.
up some yards. As a quarterback, why are you throwing him the ball? Like, why?
Instinct.
He's had it rough enough.
He saw him.
You know for a fact he's not
Sometimes
getting
you just
the
see a
touchdown.
dude, right? And like you just hit him. I'm hoping Widener's okay, man, because that's a tough break at the end of the half.
Yeah,
And that's not bending, that's breaking.
that is. And he's now taking his gloves off. Let's keep an eye at the snare on the sidelines. Look, that's never the way you want things to go in a final. I see also some Ramphins players coming over, talking to Widener, checking in. Let's keep an eye on this situation. But look, we still have a game here. It is 14-12. We are score for score. Ramphins get the ball, but this bend don't break team is still 1 stop away from a championship with 5 players.
And honestly, like, we hope Widener's okay. He's been banged up, like we talked about. Strange to see him out there on that last play at half. He looked like he was just ready to go to halftime. But whatever, he caught the ball, got the yards he could, sort of jogged it out. Maybe he's taking his gloves off because they smell like trash.
They could smell like trash. Sometimes you just want to kind of cope a good feel, see exactly what's hurting yourself there. Look, we're hoping for the best for him, but if we're looking at things that need to change for this bend don't break team, because they were stopped once. They are not converting converts. They're struggling in the red zone. They have the athletes, and if I'm them, if they're 5 players, I am confident in the second half. Please tell me why I am so confident about this bend don't break.
How can I know why you're so confident?
Well, I am so confident.
So should I ask you
because they have speed matchups across the board, and this Ramphins defense is not adapting in a suitable way to take up the speed matchups. If I'm their coach, I'm telling them, keep running your drags and your flood concept, because when you're sending 3 defenders or 3 receivers to one side of the field, run trips, screw one side of the field, go and overload it, and you have both the athletes and the wherewithal mentally there to take advantage of an unadaptive opponent.
It's a numbers game, and you need to, on offense, when you're less players, to create sort of mismatches, to create 2-on-1s,
Exactly.
Especially that we haven't seen anything special from the Ramphins defense.
Exactly, and that's your specialty as a quarterback. You know that even with 3 even with 3 receivers on one side of the field, there's still an ability there to create an overload. You don't need all 6 receivers to create these overload scenarios, and it's something you definitely can achieve with just a few players. Now, if we want an update here, it does look like number 88, the very perseverant Dominic Winder, is suiting up for the second half. He's strapping on his flag belt as we speak. It looks like he's at least giving it a shot.
Well, there we go. And it looks like, in fact, it was because his gloves smell like trash. So, at home, much like Dominic Winder, strap it on. We're ready for the second half. The Ramphins have not been as effective as we thought they'd be going up against a squad with 1 player less. We saw a careless interception first half. What can Sheldon McGill do other than sort of just what we talked about, just the floods and the
So, actually, Sheldon McGill doesn't need to flood because he has already flooded every single area of his natural advantage. He needs to take what this bend don't break defense is giving him, and what they are giving him is the middle of the field. There is a gaping hole around his center. There is a 7-yard hook open every play, and if you don't want to throw the 7-yard hook because you rather crossing patterns, well, that's fine. Run a 7-yard crosser. Run a fly from your center, pull over and out, run a 7-yard crosser across the field, a 1-yard drag, and I promised you, once you start creating overloads on top of already being up a player, you will have an unstoppable offense. Or, in much more simple terms, run all hooks every single play until you win a championship.
And to the left side, we've seen an early bail by the defense. So you can throw that outside hook to your left side to your heart's content. You can run drags from the outside from the opposite side to that side.
Before we get started, I have one question.
Yeah.
If you're already up in the score, up a player, is it bad sportsmanship to take advantage of an injured Dominic Winder?
The problem is Winder's really good, so even if he's at 85%, that can cost you. I'd say just throw to the open guy because there's always a guy wide open, 2 wide open that play, and the ball plays whistle dead.
So you saw on that play, Widener had 2 deep routes behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of breaking on one, making a play, he sat and was slightly slower than you'd usually see from who's honestly a very good player, one of their top defenders. Look, I very much hope he starts feeling better, he comes back to 100%. But the answer to our question I just asked you was, yes, Ramphins have no shame. They are taking every single advantage they can. And hopefully Widener makes them pay. There is nothing that would make me happier than see him pull off a late interception.
Widener, 38 catches on the season, 364 yards, 10 touchdowns, as well as 6 interceptions.
6 interceptions is huge.
Absolutely. Ball snap to DeMcGill. He goes to the outside. And DeMcGill to DeMcGill. Oh, my God. He gets to the sideline. In, out, touchdown. Jesse DeMcGill.
Peace. Did you throw in an extra in, out there because you're looking down at your headlights to plug them in?
Absolutely. I wasn't sure if he started out or started in, so I figured if I give an extra one,
it would always work.
Yeah.
So just for peace here, let's make sure we see this replay. But that exactly is what excites me about this Ramphins team. It's that cut ability. It's that second cut.
I was right. Shut up.
It is an in, out. Fine. You were right. But it's that ability to get low, make a shift, make a cut. Did he look like the famous Luca Canville to you on that play?
Kinda, actually, he that and a combination of Lucas Canville's like top speed and that Alex Noel thing where he makes it seem like there's no room on the sideline,
But there is room on the sideline.
Creates like an extra 3 yards of space.
Going for a 2-point convert here to put the nail in the coffin. Well, not the nail in the coffin.
The screw in the coffin.
So, hot take. I'd rather screws than nails. The screws are sturdier, so you would nail your coffin first and then screw it. So, hypothetically, if the person in the coffin comes out after the nails, you would then screw it.
How often are people coming out of coffins in your reality?
Well, if they're nailed shut, more often than with screws is my point.
Fair. What about rivets?
Can you rivet? A rivet needs that sign on the other side to latch back into. If you're screwing from wood into wood.
I'm not the coffin engineer. I'm just saying rivets are awesome. So find a way to make it work.
Rivets are awesome. Is this final riveting enough for you?
So far, it's been more so than expected. It's 20-12. Ramphins extend their lead.
But it remains a one-possession lead.
It does remain a one-possession game.
And that begs the question. You're up by 8 points. Why not go for one and make it a 2-possession lead?
Ramphins are more comfortable going for 2. They tend to go for 2, as we saw throughout the regular season. But look, going for 2 against one less player, you got to make it work. Drop a second quarterback, right? Because they can't afford to send a second rusher.
They cannot. You could have all day. Actually, drop a second quarterback, complete 56 lateral passes, and run out the rest of the clock.
You could also do that. Ball snap to Moreau. Coming in is Nadeau. It looks to be some contact on the quarterback, but instead it's caught over the middle of the field. And great catch in traffic there.
That is QB1 himself.
Joseph Schwer.
QB1 himself.
That's why he knew it would be open. He knew the soft spot.
Yep. Note did get taken out on that play. There wasn't a pick. He ran into another defender. Yeah. There is no malice in it. Is this the size on this bend don't break team? They're getting the worst of every single collision.
That's the thing I thought was going to hurt them in the playoffs, and it hadn't till this point.
So why is it affecting them now against a team in Ramphins?
Because there's nobody on the bench. There's nowhere they can go to if you got banged up. Widener got hurt, and they couldn't go anywhere else.
Well, to be fair, they could go somewhere else, but they threw him the ball on the very next play, which is its own question.
That too.
But, physically matchup-wise, Hale Martys are a much more imposing team than this Ramphins. Anyways, it's interesting to see, but they're still moving the ball, and very much this team has impressed me. Bend, don't break, not breaking.
And the ball snapped to Moreau. He pumps, delivers over the middle. And Widener's really just not moving like himself. There's a flag thrown and caught and then thrown again by referee Taran Rakic. It looks to be a flag guard? Flag guard it is. So it's going to be 5 yards back from the spot of the foul. Widener not understanding the rule and pointing for first down.
So we could be confused. I believe Tara pointed towards, yes, they are marching this up. This was a penalty on Ramphins.
I thought it was a flag guard.
I thought it was a flag guard. I think it is actually. I think that was an OC. That was an OC.
All right. Not to be confused with the OC, of course.
So I think at that point there has to be some word said. The symbol there, you don't see it, but it's a little wiping. Imagine you're wiping your buttocks clean. That is the symbol for an OC. It's an objectional conduct. You're quite literally.
Because when you wipe, it is pretty objectional.
You're wiping yourself with it. So there was an OC. I'd love to know what was said. So who was thrown out? Was that number 13? That was number 12? Was that Chad Zumigil thrown out for 10 plays?
12 would be Sheldon Zumigil, quarterback.
So if I'm bend no break, score fast.
It is, of course, the 20-year anniversary of the OC. But it is caught. No, it's juggled and dropped right at the front of the end zone.
So what bend don't break need to realize right now is they have a golden opportunity. Sheldon Zumigil is out. They are quarterbackless. They are now in a score now scenario because then Ramphins will be coming back without their quarterback. So they need to score as quickly.
Well, credit to them. They went to the end zone.
They did go to the end zone. They have the right idea. The question now is if the execution comes through. But the quicker they score, the better the chance they have to capitalize for what was honestly a very, very clumsy mistake on this Ramphins behalf.
That was an easy touchdown dropped by Bend Don't Break. And a weird stack defense by Ramphins. Ball snapped. Moreau delivers a ball to Widener over the middle. Widener's not running anything past 5 yards, and that drop just shows his discomfort on the field.
I'm going to disagree. He's moving far better than he was 3 minutes ago and better than he was 5 minutes ago.
But not as well as last round of the playoffs.
Well, definitely not as well as last round of the playoffs. There are now 8 plays left without Chad Zumigil. You want at least 4 of those plays to come on offense. They have 2 to 3 plays now to find the end zone, and you have around 20 minutes to stop yanking your headphones out of the socket.
It's never going to happen. Ramphins, if they're smart about this, just defend the goal line and
Yes.
force completions in front of you.
And eat up plays.
Ball snapped to Paolo. He moves to his right. Still moving, delivers the ball over the top, over the middle of the field. A late pass over the middle to Widener. Breaking it up was Jesse Zumingil.
The Dumigil is still in the game. Yes. So, it is now 4th down, 4th and 10. Not only a pivotal play to score and put the Ramphins in a tricky situation defensively, but a pivotal play to stay score for score and stay in this game. How big is this play? Is this the play of the game so far for you?
It's close. It's close. Man, this drive has been kind of a disaster for them, to be honest.
It's been miscues and drops and poor execution. This drive, it is
the
felt.
execution's really bothersome.
Yes.
Because the drop will happen now and again.
Exactly. But this is the first drive where they felt like a 5-on-6 situation.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just weird given all the circumstances. They got a first down. They got the OC. Ball snapped to Moreau. He looks over the middle and is caught in a great catch. And it's a touchdown by Joseph Sporer. I'll tell you this. If Ben Don't Break win this game, he might be the MVP.
QB1 looking like wide receiver 1. That's a fantastic play. That is a pivotal play. They are now down by 2 points, an ability to go for 2, tie the score, handcuff Ramphins on offense, potentially get the ball back, produce a pick. This is a decisive moment in the game, and it is all starting right now with a 2-point convert. Look, what is your play call down to 5 guys for a 2-point convert?
Well, you run trips so that the backside doesn't matter.
Agreed.
You send a snapper in the opposite direction. You run a skinny post to the back of the end zone and a hard post to the front of the end zone. I ran that against you in both games this season, and both of them were scores.
Yes, I think you're picking on me specifically for that play.
Exactly.
Opposing defenses take note. Pisa's playbook and my weaknesses are now known.
Balls snapped to Moreau. He runs a post and wheel concept instead. Throws the ball to the back of the end zone. It's caught! It's caught, and it's going to be a 2-point convert. We have a 20-20 tie. Ben Don't Break. They know they're 5, but they know they're not done.
What they don't know is that they're a smaller team, because that play showed why they weren't bullied by Hail Martys.
Yeah.
It showed why they can go up and fight for contested balls. It showed their ability to create scenarios and win high-point battles. I'm now understanding why this team has such a playoff run, because while they might look slightly smaller, they play much bigger.
There's a lot of heart on this team. That's for
There's
sure.
a lot of heart on this team.
Arden Finkelstein really climbed the ladder to go get that ball.
All the way up. A solid 2-3 steps. So now let's see. Is this who's under center?
Was it not Zumingil? Because that's Sheldon Zumingil.
I thought it was Dumigil. We could be very wrong.
We could be wrong. Let's just assume we're wrong. And Zumingil catches the one hopper, delivers the short catch to snapper Alex Nadeau. Alex Nadeau has been a key receiver for them. We saw him go. We saw Zumingil go to him in the red zone. We've seen him move the change for his offense. It feels weirdly like the pressure is on Ramphins. Ramphins kind of feeling like they're not rising to the challenge.
They don't feel like they're rising to the challenge. And frankly, all the heart is in this Ben Don't Break team. You don't understand. I'm supposed to be unbiased. I am rooting for them. It is so fun to see a team.
You're rooting for them?
I am rooting for them very hard with my routers. It's so fun to see a team here of only 5 players going and competing in a final. It's something you love to see.
There's one defender on the left-hand side of the field. He's not even looking there. That's a hold.
That is a hold. The flag is fallen. Oh, there are 2 flags. It is. Oh, no, there's 3 flags. We have a trifecta of flags. It is undoubtedly holding.
So much laundry, you'd think it's Saturday morning.
What I love the most is when you see all the flags but synchronized. I think we should start a new sport in FPF, an officials competition. Call it synchronized flagging. What is your synchronized flagging official dream team?
I think I go Taram Rakic, Owie O'Brien, and Steve Hot. All them
I
great flag
respect
mechanics.
that, but the flag throw height that Jack Nudie can produce, or Leo with the
But
rocking backwards,
it's hard
and
to
the height
it's hard
generated.
to time the rocking, and it's hard to match the height.
But if you could, it's a risky move.
And it is.
But the payoff is great.
Absolutely. Ball snap. Zumingil delivers once again to his right side. It's almost offensive to me that there's nobody on this side of the field and he's not throwing the ball there.
The reads are being made
On one side of the field.
on one side of the field and in the huddle. He knows where he is, at the very least, which side of the field he's looking at before the snap. That being said, it's worked for him so far. There hasn't been any issues because, frankly, while the left side of the field might be more open, the right side of the field, there are still mismatches, matchups, and more importantly, room, time, and space to complete passes on time. And look, he's making his life harder than it has to be. But it's still working, so can you really blame him?
We have one defender splitting the two receivers on the left-hand side. A lot of motion to his right side. Ball delivered to the sideline. It's juggled and not caught. A good defense by Montreal in that play.
That was a fantastic defense from this bend don't break team, because somehow, with one less player and a scrambling quarterback, they still managed to cover it all. The one thing there is that play could have been even better. You saw Notte miss the tackle for the sack. That could have, instead of being an incomplete pass, been a 6-yard loss. Notte needs to make sure that there are no more missed tackles, because a sack could be the start of Ramphins' first bend don't break defensive stop of the game.
Absolutely, and here comes Zumingil. He gets a snap. He has a drag coming over the middle. Goes to that left side. No one's there. But again, it's harder than it needs to be. He's throwing deep on his left side. That's where they're dropping deep. You know, they're dropping deep from that side. Running onto the field here is Marco Nicola.
Yeah, so I think maybe potentially it's Nicola who has OC'd for the 10 plays because it would coincide around with when he could come back in now. It's third down at this point. This is a huge drive because this bend don't break defense is not breaking. And this looks like this could be their stop. They will not have many chances in this game. This could be the hill they're going to die on. So
it's third down. Get enough yards to make a makeable.
Exactly. This is the time for all hooks. And look how deep Finkelstein is playing as a free safety. Again, your snapper here has 7 yards separation. He is wide open.
He's wide open.
They are not looking towards him. He is still wide open.
And a
huge sack!
It just unnecessary rollout here by Sheldon Zumingil.
It was unnecessary rollout, but look at that sack. You know
Great
what was
sack.
not unnecessary was the roll from Nutt, because he went diving, he went rolling, he went tumbling, but he came up with the flag. And those are the sure hands, which is making him, for me, my contender for the bend don't break player of the game.
Oh, I said it early. Like, if the game ended in the first half, he was.
He was. But then
the
you
MVP.
brought up our QB1 wide receiver one.
That's true,
Murky the
actually.
waters. So this is, for me right now, the biggest play of the game. It's either a momentum changer for Ramphins where they stamp their foot down, or when bend don't break, get the much needed and very elusive defensive stop. It is fourth and 1 million.
You need to build levels at 1 million plus the end zone and then 1 million.
And they are running trips, which I love to see.
Yeah, because they don't have enough defenders to defend it. Ball snapped to Zumingil. He drops back, delivers the ball over the middle, and it's caught by Marco Nicola. He makes a move.
He was deflagged.
Is he in?
No,
He's
he was
deflagged.
deflagged.
That's a first down, though. That's a first
Ouch.
down. That's a dagger.
Ouch. 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 Well,
Great
the
rhythm
wind
passing by Zumingil, just throwing to an area, and then Marco Nicola being able to get that
telling
spot.
you how I'm feeling right now as a passionate bend don't break supporter. The wind has been taken out of my
as of
sails.
20 minutes ago.
More like 15. Yeah, it was really a halftime change for me. That is a devastating play. You are hyped beyond belief. You have stamped your seal. You have gotten 2 incomplete passes, a sack. That is when you need to pull a rabbit out of your hat and convert on fourth down to the defense to get the ball back. That is a devastating blow. There is still a chance now to produce something in the end zone.
Ball snap. Zumingil staring to his left side, and oh my God, it's a drop on what should have been an easy touchdown on that play. Unable to bring it in was Alexandre Cote.
So I'm begging you, please. It's starting to hurt me. What this bend don't break team is doing defensively right now, which is perhaps one of the oddest things I've seen in FPF, is they're running man coverage on the outside, no one covering the center, and the play the center is running is a drag into man coverage.
Into the coverage, yeah. I know.
I'm taking deep breaths, but please,
Especially on
turn
first
around.
down. Run all hooks.
Run all hooks. All hooks will be open. Do you hear me, chat? All hooks will be open.
Wrong Zumingil. Sheldon.
Sheldon, my bad.
Wide receiver tight on the right side and loose receiver on the left side. Ball snap, 2 slants, completed, caught, dragged down, penalty.
Laundry down. Double laundry. That's only a double laundry, not a triple laundry.
Yeah,
that being said, the laundry is very warranted. Not quite synchronized, but we'll let that slide for today. Very clearly a foul. Unnecessary contact. Now we have Terry Babalis talking with this Ramphins offense, giving them their options. They can apply the penalty now. On their possession, they can go for 1 from here, 2 from there. Hell, they could even do an onside kick. Pease, what would you do with this plethora of options?
I mean, they seem to be more comfortable going for 2. So go for the 2, and then march him back 5 yards. Make him have to work with the 5 players and hope that you can catch them making a mistake. Ramphins here have the opportunity to take control of this game. Surprising they haven't to this point with 5 and a little bit left in the game.
Tell me I'm crazy. There's
You're
5
crazy.
and a little bit left. I am crazy. Why not go for the onside? Just finish it off.
I mean, it's not bad because there's probably enough time to get the ball back too. So it's not a bad decision to do it there. Use it as an offensive weapon.
That ball sailed.
Yeah.
That was simply put a missed throw from Selden.
It feels like they like going for 2, but they don't have any concepts that work for 2. And that time was a 1-point convert, but again, like it's just jump balls in the goal line.
I'm going to take that a step further. They have a fantastic playbook. You saw it on the 4th and 15. They have plays they can use to create large, important plays in the middle of the field where they start having issues as their playbook seems to slightly fall apart in the red zone. There isn't a diversity of plays. There isn't an ability to attack different levels. They attack high and outside.
Yeah. It's a safe throw in that like it's likely not going to get undercut, but you need efficiency. You don't need to be safe here. And a safety so far back with bend don't break, running on the first down. Look, you have the team down a player with a running back in the backfield, and you have your safety playing at 15 yards. That makes no sense.
It makes no sense. So at this point, I have a controversial take. Bend don't break. They have 2 options. Peas, you know this, but let's say for our listeners at home, they either need to score in a jiffy. Jiffy, capital J. The theory there being they score, give the ball back.
Ball handed to Nate. Nate makes a move. One man misses. The second won't. And that's going to be a decent gain. It's going to make it 3rd and about 4.
So what I'm saying is you either score in a jiffy and give the ball back to your opponents, hoping you either stop them, get the ball, and win, or they score and then you finish the game with the ball in your hands, or you milk this clock like an overripe cow and finish the game with the ball in your hands.
That's what I would do.
So that's what I would not do. I think 3 minutes, 4 minutes is too much to do that.
We just heard word that the OC given was for purposely throwing an opponent's flag on the ground. Ball juggled and then caught on the sideline by Joseph Schwarr, QB1.
QB1, and I want to say, a good call by the official there. You see a lot of plays where the receiver juggles the ball and then drops it. You would call that in football a fumble. In FBF, you call that a catch. I'm happy to see the catch being given because that was a catch. The fumble was bad. The catch was good.
We've seen a lot of laundry in this game, and it always bothers me. I never know where the lights end and where the darks begin. I have a hard time with that. I don't know if this is a colorblind thing.
So, hot take. I don't think you need to separate your lights and your darks.
Well, I mean, I don't need to do laundry because my wife is amazing. So I'm largely taking care of in my life.
We'll see. Rumor has it there's a little one on the way. The little one will
Absolutely.
need.
Ball snap. Moving is Mono. He delivers the ball over the top. It's caught. Joseph Schwarr keeps making huge plays for this team. Look, Ramphins have a stupid name, so I'm on board. Bend don't break. Let's get it.
Pease is now a convert onto the bend don't wait bandwagon. I love the trust there from Nadeau to his quote-unquote QB1. On 4th down, he could run for the 1st down easily. He took the risk. He threw it up. He threw it over the shoulder into the breadbasket and down the sideline for a sizable gain. Now, if I'm bend don't break, if they score, I immediately go for the onside kick. Pease, why is that the correct answer?
Well, because then if you don't get it, you can let them punch it in and then get the ball back.
Exactly. Do you think?
But I don't know. It depends when you score. If you score
now
with under 4 plays, then you can just score the convert and win the game.
Yes, that's something you do when there's between 1 and 2 minutes left on the clock. If this play is a touchdown, the next play should be an onside kick.
Running back in backfield is Nate. Nate does not get the ball. The ball thrown over the top, and it is caught. It's caught. It's a touchdown. Joseph Schwarr, wide receiver 1. His jersey is garbage. Change it for wide receiver 1.
So I'm disappointed.
Sorry, no, that was Finkelstein.
It was Finkelstein. Or was it number 13? Yes, number 13. Yes, it was Finkelstein. My bad.
So you can keep the QB1 jersey.
He can keep the QB1 jersey. Okay.
So that's what I love the sideline broadcast because you do get a better vibe of the game, but you don't see all the numbers on the far side of the field.
No, we really struggle to see what happens in these opposing corners of the end zone. Yeah. I am disappointed in my new loves, bend don't break. They have a chance now to make a very wise, strategically, veteran savvy move and go for the onside kick, both giving themselves a chance to win the game and kneecapping their opponents. Instead, they're going for 1. It is right now 26-26. They are trying to take the lead.
We'll see what they can do here. Ball snapped. 2 receivers to the left of Mono. He delivers the ball in front of the end zone.
Not
it
caught.
seemed to not go to the intended receiver, but it was almost hauled in by Notte. Notte's been everywhere in this game, dude.
He is nutty, but nowhere.
Yo, if you're looking for a hustler in the higher divisions, give Joshua Notte a call. Dude can play, man.
He can play, he can rush, he can do a bit of everything.
He's got
Ooh.
excellent hair, too.
Andrew Finkelstein is now limping to the sideline. He's just dropping off a ball. Or is he going to drink water? Has there been a timeout called? People are talking.
It appears to be.
It is a timeout.
It's a timeout. Do we know who called the timeout?
Someone called a timeout.
Oh,
there was a
that's
timeout
useful.
called.
These are facts being stated by Alexi Dubois. They are not helpful, but they are facts.
But they do fill time, which time is something we need to fill.
That's
Did you
true,
know what
we do.
time was?
What?
Nothing.
All right.
So, if you're going to call timeout at this point, challenge something. Find something random. Challenge a random, I don't
Challenge
know.
that they caught the ball in the convert.
Exactly.
Because you might
For
as
the
well.
fun of it.
Yeah.
Challenge that it was a convert.
But
It'll
don't-
gain
but
you
you
even
might
more time.
need the challenge later
In the
drive.
next 0 seconds? Oh, sorry, the next 5 plays. Now, I want overtime.
I do too. Although, just so you know, we're going to need a little bit of a delay of game before we start the next broadcast because I've been in this booth a while and I need to check in and drop some boys off at the pool.
Poor boys.
Ball is snapped. Miguel gets it. A catch to the sideline. They're so good at getting yards after the catch.
It's what separates this team. They have a Division E roster with a Division C ability to produce yards after the catch. And while they might have had a rougher season with some losses and a bumpier path,
And a rougher game. This game,
Yeah.
like, dude, you're about to lose a game to a team with 5 players.
their saving grace really has been that shiftiness. Simply put, the athleticism. We have now whistled in 5 plays. That exactly what the doctor ordered. A 16-yard gain on first down leaves them with 24 yards between the Ramphins and the Division E championship.
Or 24 yards and overtime. Or 24 yards between them and a loss.
Or a pick 6.
Ball snapped. Jimmy Gill pumps. He got nothing in the air. And the ball thrown to the sideline. And a great catch by Jesse Zumingill. Jesse Zumingill is so good when it comes to body control and being able to pull the ball in when it's away from his body.
So talk about filling time. Your sentence ran around 20 words too long. Jesse
Thanks,
Dzumigil
buddy.
is so good.
Yeah.
There was nothing else was needed.
Well, I figure that there are some people who may be tuning in who don't have eyesight, the gift of eyesight. So I'm trying to portray this with theater of the mind.
So what you think we're doing is radio.
Listen, man, that's my training.
So on the podcast, the side will be an audio mechanism. You make visual jokes, and on the broadcast, you make podcast jokes.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta give jokes for different mediums. The ball thrown over the middle, and still on his feet is Zumingill, and that's a great touchdown. Huge play, Chad Zumingill. He shakes, he bakes, he turns, and there we go, baby. It's a
an
tie
easy
game.
Is it a tie game or is it a lead? I believe it is now a 6-point.
26 game. It's 26-26. I got the official nod from scorekeeper-in-chief Phil Roberts.
I was dead wrong. I went to this drive thinking we had a tie game. Wowza.
Wow.
Okay.
Maybe you should watch the game.
So, we're now going for the biggest play of the Division E season. A 1-point convert to decide, potentially, the fate of the Division E season. Peas, is it time for the 1-yard hook, the 5-yard hook by the snap?
Look, it's been open. Just do the damn thing. Hit your snapper in the stomach. It'll work. There's no. Well, I mean, Moreau now is shading a little bit, but now they're in man coverage again. Ball snap, man coverage with 1 player less. Nadeau was open. Ball thrown instead to the outside. It's still a tie game. Nadeau had both hands open, saying, "Bro, throw me the ball."
And yet, you have to think at this point, he simply does not enjoy throwing the ball to his snapper because it has been open time and time again. There is a decided effort. They do not attack the center. There are now 3 plays left for Ben Don't Break to pull off one of the bigger upsets we have seen in finals history. 3 plays to march down the field. Who are you looking towards? You have 3 receivers. Who are your receivers for first, second, and third down?
I mean, if you need to get a ball in space, get to Nate. Otherwise, the second half that Joseph Sporer has been amazing.
And he's won those contested catches, which is such an asset.
Absolutely. With a running back in the backfield, it is Nate. Ball snapped to Moreau. He's looking. He has Nate over the middle. Diving catch by Nate. Josh Nutte has been, his body has touched every single square inch of this field in this game.
I was going to ask a question. I wasn't going to ask that question. So,
Commissioner
Rock and Pen passed us a piece of paper, trying to be very discreet about it.
Yeah.
Ask us, who do you feel like your MVPs are? I was debating it. I wrote down Nutte. It could have been my friend QB1. This confirms it for me that he is QB1. He is not Schwartz.
If Schwartz scores here, MVP?
Depends on the score. If it's a wow factor score, MVP. Anything else for me, Nutte has it in the bag for this bend don't break team. Just the guts, the tackling, the sacking, the running, and the rolling in the grass has won it for me.
And the forearm here. Ball snapped to Moreau. He looks to that side. Ball thrown to over the top. It looks like it's going to be intercepted. No! Unable to haul in was Alex Nadeau. Coming back to the ball was Josh Nutte. Man, Nutte wasn't open on that play, but he did everything he could to come back to it.
He did everything he could to get it back up in the air. Well, to talk about the elf in the room, maybe that is why Nadeau has not gotten so many targets at center. That was a pick he could have brought in to give his team a shot at the end zone and a shot at the championship. It's a pick that should have been made.
That could be, man. But, offensive linemen get, watches from their quarterbacks. What kind of watch does McGill need to get Nadeau to apologize for this game? Because he should have 3 or 4 touchdowns. Last play of the game of regulation. Moreau pumps, goes over the top. It's touching the sky. It's coming down. It is intercepted. Ramphins are jumping around, but this game's far from over. Take 10 paces back because it's overtime and we're going to have to go score for score.
Yes, I just want to make sure. That was a lot of celebrating. They do realize it's overtime, or are we completely wrong?
Nope, we're right. It's still overtime. What? We have 26, 32-26 Ramphins. We had to score wrong. No, it's right now, but it wasn't a moment ago. It's 32-26. Ramphins do win. Wow, that was a confusing moment for us in the broadcast booth.
I told you so.
Well, but my dude, that's what I saw on the screen.
I really think the blame here. Do we put it on the scorekeeper, or do we assume responsibility?
It's tough. It's tough because I will say on our end we do have a lot going on in the booth to make sure that we get a great broadcast going. Keeping track of the score shouldn't be that difficult, though. That said, maybe a little help.
A little help would be nice. Okay. Ramphins are champions. The season is over. They won! They won! Excitement. Yay, big words. Happiness. Now let's bring them down back to earth. Do they feel like fake champions?
Do they feel like?
Fake kings. Fake king champions.
Man, I was honestly, I thought Bend But Don't Break outplayed them for most of this game.
I was so impressed with that performance. That being said, we do have to give credit to Ramphins, and again, their ability on this team and what is separating them from the pack and what has won them this championship is really the elusiveness of the Duméguil brothers and the ability to produce significant yak yardage.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's to your point that you mentioned that's where they look like a higher division team. They have a little bit of that experience, and that's what we got. The championship trophy is being given out, and so is the MVP.
Right, so
here is League Commissioner Rob Campana.
The Division E championship trophy to the captain of the Ramphins. Congratulations. And last thing to present, finals MVP goes to Jesse Duméguil. Félicitations. All right, great job, guys. We have the banner to print out. There you go. All right. Let's go, boys. Tiens, vous pouvez écrire vos noms, les gars. Vous pouvez écrire le nom de l'équipe sur la bannière. On va prendre la photo d'équipe. On a les t-shirts de championnat que Steve va vous donner. Et Jesse, juste une petite question pour toi. Tu peux-tu parler un peu du in English? In English? Okay, all right. Talk to us a little bit about the game, Jesse. It was a pretty tight game here. They were 5 guys, put up a pretty good fight. Tell us how it went for you guys.
Yeah, they're crazy athletic. So even if they're 5, they're the biggest challenge we've had all playoffs. So sometimes it's kind of hard to adjust to that. We haven't played such good athletes, but yeah, they played a hell of a game. We just it was a close one. We came out on top.
And talk to me about your team. Talk to me about some of the plays that got you guys to the point where you're raising the trophy today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the one that has this finals MVP, but I probably should have gone to Chad over there. He's the one who made all the plays. I mean, he got us back in the game, and our quarterback just never gave up, even though we went down. And yeah, that's how it went down.
Well, great job, Jesse. Congratulations. Get back to you guys.
A few months ago, that banner had nothing written on it, just a big question mark. Now the Division E banner dons the name of Ramphins. Again, stupid name. I hate that they're on our banner. I hate that they're on our trophy. But you know what? They went through a hell of a playoff run to get here. They get this final win.
This is a team that excites me. Going forward, this is a team with the pieces, the experience, and the athleticism to move up in divisions. They need to develop slightly better play calling, work on some little mistakes there, but they have the core and they have the talent to move up. I'm really excited to see what the future holds for both these teams. These are two teams that I'd love to see move up the ranks in FPF and establish themselves. There's a ton to leave from this game. Division E is so exciting because we see the future. And I think that's a great note to kind of leave us off on.
Absolutely. I like that you gave yourself credit for a great note.
My notes are fantastic.
Honestly, it was a pleasure to call the game with you. Thank you, Alexi, for dropping in. Division E, Spring 2023. You have your champion. It is Ramphins. Thank you all for joining us, and thank you all for letting us be ourselves.